Let me look up. Hey guys, I wanted to sit down and talk to you about why I chose counseling for Talking Me Off the Ledge. Um, as you know, if you've watched the film, most of the film itself is sitting in a counseling session or multiple counseling sessions with the four main characters. Because it's such a significant part of the film and how the story is told, I wanted to sit down and share with you my thought process behind using counseling as a vehicle to tell the story. To be honest with you, choosing a group counseling session was probably done out of ignorance and then out of a mechanism to tell the story. And here's what I mean. I had no experience with counseling for suicide in my own life. I've told in another video that I didn't even know that there was a place to be counseled for your mental health issues when I had them until I became an adult. And at that point, it was a one-on-one session. So as it relates to the film, which I wrote before I ended up having to go to counseling as an adult, as an aside. Before Talking Me Off the Ledge, what made me go down that road once I knew I was going that road was I figured that a group counseling session would be something that would allow for me to show the flaws of the individual who is counseling. So, without giving away the movie in its entirety, Josephine, who is the main character, has a negative stigma about suicide. There are problems that she has in her life, obviously, but she looks negatively on the people that she's counseling. And then because of that, it creates this conflict throughout the entire film about her viewpoint and them. And so in a group environment, it is even more pronounced because you have three people showcasing their issues, their problems, and their personality traits, all against the way Josephine feels about them. And so because of that, it allows for the viewer to see, hey, wait a minute, maybe the counselor is the wrong one, not the people being counseled. And so the goal was to kind of play on that. Also, it allows for some more comedic elements or some more conflict in the story because you have three people who are mentally unstable and are liable to say and do just about anything as it relates to being around each other. But for me, I wanted to kind of just look at it from that perspective of, hey, what if we have this one person who's inexperienced biting off a lot more than she could chew because her stigma or the way she views the people she's counseling is wrong. Because Talking Me Off the Ledge is about the negative stigma of suicide, what this movie really does is say, hey, look, because the counselor has a bad viewpoint of those who she is counseling, it creates even more problems when the people who are being counseled are together interacting because she doesn't necessarily see the best way to treat everyone because she doesn't view everyone the right way. And so because of that, I figured it would be interesting to see those types of things play out because obviously in our own minds, when we think we're doing something good, we create in our own heads what we think is going to happen, the way it should happen, no matter how we view the people that we're supposed to be helping. So because of that, it allows for, in a group environment, in this story's context, it allows for more plans to go awry. It just showed me that there's much more that could go wrong when you put three people together as opposed to do one-on-one sessions. For my own personal life, if I would have gone to therapy, I think that I think I would have seen some benefit in being in a group environment. Number one, if it's done right, obviously, by someone who's trained to be a counselor, you're able to see other people's problems, which means you can see, you can see how you really should be viewing yourself. That's number one. Number two, you see how that counselor addresses other people's problems and helps them walk through their problems. And you also get to see that person walk through their issues, let alone you going through your problems and having other perspective around as well. I think that counseling is a very good way to handle having suicidal thoughts, having emotional distress, depression, anxiety, feeling overwhelmed. All those things, to me, I think can be solved through conversation. Now, I'm not saying if your doctor tells you to take medication, you should ignore the medication. What I'm saying is I believe that dialogue and careful thought and meditation will help us to get through our mental issues. Because a lot of the times, at least for myself, when I was dealing with it, I had gotten into my own head, so much so that I couldn't see anymore. Like, I couldn't see the way out. And it wasn't until I got out of my own head that I could see the way out again. For me personally, if I had to choose as a child what I think, or as an adolescent, what I would want to, what environment I'd want to be in, if looking back now, I would probably say be in a group environment, because I'd be able to see other people's problems and how they handle it, and how the counselor handles their problems as they interact, so that I would have a little bit more information on how to address my own problems. I think that group counseling, just as an opinion, I'm not an expert, but as an opinion, I think group counseling has great benefit from that perspective. At the same time, there are times where it's better to be in a one-on-one environment so that there's no one else that muddies the water as it relates to a conversation that's being had. Because throughout the film of Talk Me Off the Ledge, the water gets muddy. I hope you take some time out to watch Talk Me Off the Ledge. It's streaming on the website trumpetspeak.com, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about the film, and how you would have handled Josephine's situation. So that being said, thanks for sitting down with me, and I hope to catch you in the next video.